like usually like last 5 to 7 days. Last year I picked up a couple of shifts in La Plaza, and then I did a couple in Laredo with JR, and it ended up being pretty good. And I made a lot of good interactions and kind of really maximize every customer that I was working with. But today, what I want to go over with y'all is just really just like a couple concepts that I really want you guys to kind of lean on. Whether you're a brand new rep at 10, 15, 20, $50,000 in sales, $100,000 in sales, doesn't really matter. This is going to really apply. These are the same things that I go to the mall with this kind of mindset. The first thing is that like kind of to echo what Manny was saying, the last 7 days of the mall are actually like the best days in my opinion, or can be the best days. People go into the mall almost with the expectation or desperation just to buy anything. Like they're trying to buy something unique, something fast, and they're just trying to get it off their list. So people want to buy. People are not just kind of walking the mall. They're literally like there to shop and buy something. The first thing that you want to do is you want to lead with bundles when you're working with customers and holiday specials. The thing that you're going to be really kind of pushed on, and you'll see this happen, is at this last week. I sometimes feel it's a little tougher to sell a set because people are coming up with the mindset of, hey, I have an uncle, he likes to barbecue, and I just need one knife. What's like 120, $130, right? So you're going to get a lot of those people coming up. And that's when you can say, hey, since you're getting this one piece, if you want, I can actually show you some holiday specials where you can actually save some money by bundling. Can I show you how that works? And then generally what I do is, like, let's say if they do a bundle, I'm like, hey, I know you're shopping for Christmas, but is there any other occasions that you're shopping for, like that are coming up in January, February, March? And they'll say, yeah, I actually have a wedding coming up, or it's actually my brother's birthday in January, or you know, um, obviously Valentine's Day is coming up. So don't be so pigeonholed, like in the mindset that you only need to sell Christmas gifts. Start giving them ideas to buy gifts for New Year's, buy gifts for Valentine's Day, buy gifts for Father's Day coming up next year, because the prices are going up anyways February 1st, so they might as well save some money. And if you split over 5 months, it's like they're paying $100 a month anyways for like a $500 package. So, like, the first concept is lead with bundles, holiday specials, and find different occasions that they can buy gifts for while they're getting holiday specials. So, since you're going to buy this already, and it sounds like you have a wedding in the spring, why don't you just do this today, and I can give you that chef's knife for free that you're going to buy originally if you buy that set. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, when you're helping them find gifts, what you're going to find, ask more questions. So what I like to do is I like to make each gift where it's emotional, where they feel emotionally attached to that gift. So I'll say something like this. Um, so hey, I know you're wanting that fish knife. Who are you buying this fish knife for? Oh, it's my brother. His name is James. Okay, cool. So is there anybody else in your family? Like, how many brothers and sisters do you have? And then they'll say, well, I have 5 sisters, or a couple sisters and a couple brothers, but I normally don't shop them. What are their names? So they tell you their names, and then I'll say, oh, cool. So are you buying anything for XYZ person? Are you buying anything for Cromer? Are you buying anything for JR, for Manny, right? And so forth. And I'll use that name. And typically I pull out my phone on my notes app, and I'm literally writing down their names. And then what I find happens is I'm writing down their names, and I'm putting down, let's say if I put Pressy, fish knife, JR, chef's knife. And at the end of it, I say, so this is what we're looking at. We're looking at these 7 people. And they'll say yes. And now it's more difficult for them to take off that name off the list, because you put an emotional attachment to that actual name and to the actual product. And I've done this just like with this a lot. And what I find is I get my orders bigger because people will look at that list and be like, you know what? naturally they'll look at the list and say, oh, you know what, I really actually do like this person. Do you have something a little bigger? And then they start ranking them in their head what they actually want to spend on each person a little more. So that's been kind of like one of my big strategies every single year. Anytime I'm talking about whether it's buying, whether they're buying business gifts, Christmas gifts, doesn't matter. I attach a name to each gift, and I make that emotional connection. How about personal sales, Nick? So, uh, so easy questions that you can ask. Do you have anybody in your family also, right? So you already closed the order. Do you have anybody else in the family also that likes to fish hunt, barbecue, or cook, or possibly wants to cook, or just has bad knives, or just needs some better knives, right? So I usually ask that question to kind of build it up a little bit, and then at the very end I say, hey, well, what about yourself? The last thing that you want to get is socks if you don't get something nice for yourself. So you might as well add on some Cutco. So I'll tell you what, if you get that set, I'll give you those 2 chef's knives for free or whatever, right? So, but if you're like most customers, I can actually show you how to get a big discount while you're getting these gifts and get some free stuff for yourself with the larger set, right? Another thing that I love saying is when someone is buying like a chef's knife or 2 chef's knives or whatever they're buying, and they look over and they ask me like, hey, how much is that set? I'm like, well, that set, how did I word this? I'm like, you can actually get that set for free if you buy X amount, right? And then obviously kind of rolled into the cost. That usually works if you're working like on a big like 5 or 10K order, and you say, yeah, you can get that homemaker for free if you buy like 100 gifts. So it's happened before though, because like you never know who you're gonna run into, and this can actually really work. And then you want to obviously maximize these sale, focus on the larger sets, focus on the free items. This time of year, if you're just trying to hit your goals, like don't be afraid of giving more value to the customer. So if they are going to buy the set and they're on the fence, then use that same strategy that I did in the very beginning, where you say, cool, well, I'll tell you what, if you buy this set, I'll help you take care of gifts not only for Christmas, but I'll help you pick out a couple other items for Father's Day, for Mother's Day, and for Valentine's Day. And like when I say that, it could be something as small as a can opener for each occasion, right? For different people. So you don't have to give like the boat away. You have to do what's and I'm sure you guys, some of y'all know this concept. It's called stacking the value. So you'll say something like, well, you'll get that set, and I'll give you that can opener, and I'm throwing in the peeler, and you get all the cutting boards already for free with the set. Plus, I'm also going to be giving you that small pocket knife, and you get a lockback if you get that ultimate. And I was like, and it's normally worth like $4,500, but today you're only spending $36.99 or like $750 a month, right? So now it seems in their mind, because the way you phrased it, it seems like a lot of stuff versus saying, hey, I'll just give you $500 of stuff, right? Which one sounds better and which one sounds more? So you have to like slow down and break down every little thing that you're going to be doing and help them build a wish list so you can give those things away. Number 4 is we are going to be past the deadline after this week. Oh, no, after today, I mean. So, you know, and we teach us like just in like the gifting thing, the business gifting, but like the power of delayed gifts. So, like, I just had a customer call me last night. He's like, "Hey, are these pocket knives going to be here in time for Christmas if I engrave them?" I said, "No." I was like, "But what I find is a lot of people actually love giving Cutco after Christmas because have you ever got like 5 or 10 gifts and you're just overwhelmed, right? And then a random gift shows up a week later, it means more. And I tell people, because I do this because I'm always kind of running around kind of last minute. I'll go to my nephew's birthday. My little nephew will get like 15 presents. He's trying to play with every single one of them. And then I always send my gift out a week later. And I always get a phone call from him because he's like, oh my God, this is so cool. Like, because it's such a random gift after the fact. So you can still use this, but some people are going to be more attached to like, no, no, I have to get it for Christmas. It's super sacred or the world is going to like blow up, right? So I'm sure I've heard this before. Okay, cool. If that's the case, what I have most people do, we do it every single year. You just put, a small item in a box, a rock, whatever you want, and then just put a picture of what you're going to get them, and then it comes later. Or the second thing that I like doing too is like, let's say you're going to get that homemaker set, but it's not going to come in time. Well, why don't we buy like a Hardy slicer on the side? You can give them the Hardy slicer, and then a week later, the real gift shows up. So, like, don't you think? And it's almost kind of like you're giving two presents because you're giving different presents that are part of a set. So it actually means that much more. So that's one thing I love doing too. Obviously, like, count your inventory and kind of see what's happening. But that's just like a quick little trick so people don't get kind of upset about not giving a gift. But there's different ways that you can sell it, right? But I always start off with yeah, people. I mean, it's crazy busy. Like, they're not even expecting to give sometimes. So if you do when they least expect it, it just means more. Obviously, you want to promote your inventory. But when you promote your inventory, this is what I typically do. Now, everybody has the bargain bin, right? But if you have extra gift boxes, get gift boxes, and you can even put pricing on there if you want, or don't put pricing, whichever way you want to do it. But you will have some extra gift boxes. And what I used to do is I would take like trimmers and I would put them in a gift box. And I'd be like, yeah, we have this steak knife set. So now instead of selling one trimmer, I'm selling four every single time at a slight discount. Or I'm getting a paring knife and a peeler. I'm getting whatever. And I'm creating little bundle packages instead of selling one piece at a time. So my average order would naturally go up. And then I'd use the same concepts and I would say, cool, well, how many people are you shopping for? We have bundles, right? Instead of saying we have pieces that are 75 to 250 or like 75 to 150, we have bundles that go anywhere from 175 to like $400. Is that kind of like a price that you want to stay within for like a little bundle package? Because a lot of people, and you probably already know this, but people come up and you say, they're like, "Can I get one knife?" You're like, "Yeah." What do you have under $100? I have a paring knife. They're like, "That's it?" I don't want to give that. That's kind of weird to give like on one little gift. But if you bundle it, use some catalog pricing, some CTR, whatever you want to do, then you're more likely to sell a lot more, and I guarantee your average order is going to be bigger. So a lot of people you'll see in the group me's, whatever group me you're in, whether it's this group me or another group me or WhatsApp, is you'll see a lot of people posting one pocket knife, one trimmer, one chef's knife. That should be a bundle deal at least 80% of the time, right? There's some people that are just gonna not never spend that much more, but to spend an extra $70 and get like a nice little package, you're gonna find a lot of customers in the area that are gonna spend more because of that. So you could also word it like, we have a two-piece bundle set that's 10% off a three-piece. But I found that people come to the mall with the mindset of a number in their head already that they're going to spend. And if you can get them to spend a little more, oh, you know what? Our budget is 150. Hey, is it cool if you spend 175? When I did a little gift order yesterday, some guy was like, "Hey, I need four pocket knives with engraving." And I said, "Well, the company wants us to do five. Can you do five?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." And it was like, that was it. It was nothing special. I just asked, right? Ask and you shall receive. Bring customers back for service events. You guys have not, if you guys already are in the business for a while and you're not taking advantage of a mall that allows you to do service, do service. Super easy. I had a couple customers last year in Laredo. I never go to Laredo, by the way. I haven't been there in years. JR saw me. I still had some past customers come by and purchase because I sent them a text. Hey, I want to be in Laredo. Come to buy the mall. Come get your knife sharpened, whatever, right? So just come see me and shop. And people literally came by. So it doesn't really matter. Even if you've already ran a sale multiple times, it doesn't matter. Keep on inviting them to the mall and create urgency. Hey, I'm going to be here the last 7 days of the mall. We still have stuff in stock, right? We still have bundles in stock. So promote that you're going to be there, even if you've been promoting sales all month. It doesn't matter. Like, if you look at like email trends, Best Buy has probably sent 1,000 emails this month, and I can guarantee that people still have not unsubscribed. They're not going to unsubscribe if you send one more email or text, just so you know, unless you did something really bad to them. That's another thing. All right. So mindset and energy management, right? The last days, one thing I like doing if I'm working with a partner is like if you just need a little more time, maybe do like a staggered shift where you leave and you got to talk to Manny about this, but maybe you come in like 30 minutes like later and somebody leaves a little 30 minutes earlier or something like that, right? But your energy is like really important because like there's still stuff that's going on in your life that you need to get done. So, just ask your partner and work with them. If you're new, you probably just be there the whole time. There's like if you haven't been to the malls, you need to just stay at the mall and kind of work the whole time. But take breaks strategically, rest when there's not foot traffic, and just like be very intentional with everyone that you're talking to. It obviously a lot of people don't know like all the packages, but just talk about everything. If you're at $20,000 in sales and you're like, well, I don't know how to pitch everything. Just let them know, hey, I'm not sure if you know this, but we also make cookware. I don't know a bunch about it, but I heard it's really awesome, right? Chances are their grandma or somebody already had that cookware, so they're just gonna spend the money. If you just say, hey, we have like a fan sets where you have every single knife, I guarantee somebody will sell one, even if you don't know what you're doing. They're like, can you explain it to me? Yeah, it has every knife we sell, literally. Okay. Like it doesn't, you don't have to get super detailed on a lot of these things. Sometimes people really resonate with just concepts, right? You want everything we sell, it's 20 grand. It's everything. What's everything? It's everything in the catalog, like literally everything. Here's a picture, right? So you will get somebody that will purchase that the more you pitch it, right? The luckier you will get. Yeah, but you want to avoid burnout. If you're tired and you don't want to be there, it's going to be really hard to kind of actually focus. So make sure that you're taking your breaks and you're setting intentions for your day. One thing that I got from like working the state fair, and it's the same concept, is you take a little post-it and every time you have an interaction, just put like a little check mark. Every time you have an upsell, you close a deal and then you upsell them more, write down 1,000 CPO plus 880. So now that you upsold and you actually did your job, right? And then at the end of it, you're like, oh crap, I got like 10 orders. And then if you guys are doing stats, it's a lot easier to do your stats because you just look at your little post it, and then you can also write down past customer, new order, reorder, and just do it on a little post it and keep track of it. And I guarantee if you do that, you'll see what your closing percentage, how many past customers you're working with, how many new orders you're getting, and what you're upselling. If it was just a regular order, a business gift, a service call, anything like that, you can all track it in a little post-it. And then you can always go to JR and say, hey, JR, I need 14 hours of coaching to fix all these problems, and use up all his time in January. So no, I'm just kidding, but maybe. But there's a lot of value there where you can actually write down information for yourself and just recognize where the holes are in your game so you can actually level up. And then you can make 80% of your sales in these last few days. Every customer matters, every conversation counts. People are there to shop, people are there to spend money. You just need to work with people and just really just maximize every opportunity. Now, after the sale, remember if they want service, you can say, cool, yeah, let me get your information. By the way, we have deals here. Close the deal there, right? Close 3, 4, 5, $600, whatever it is. And then in January, February, when you're doing your service calls, you can actually go ahead and sell them more again. So, but take an order now and then keep selling. So just to kind of recap real fast, you want to lead with bundles and specials. You want to connect gifts to names to create an emotional connection. You want to maximize each sale, obviously, with bigger sets by giving more free stuff away. You want to promote packages and bundles over singles. Invite your customers to the event, just in general, whether it's a service event or just let them know you're there. And you want to manage your mindset and your energy while you're there. But yeah, these are the last days, so you guys want to go in like really hard, help people with their shopping. That's literally what you're doing with every single conversation. And that's kind of what I got for you guys.
Wow. I really hope you guys took a lot of notes, but we definitely recorded this. I got a full page from stacking the value to asking, hey, who are you shopping for? Who else do you have give? Writing down and just using the word bundles as well. We are gonna open it up for questions. I see on the queue, LA. Go ahead and ask your questions.
Yonda Joseph.
Hey,
Hey, I was curious. So I'm working on a gifting order with a HVAC supplier, and
mhm.
I was curious if it would be a bad idea to to share my goals to try and close it before the year ends. I just don't want to turn the customer off. She's looking at 50 Sentokus. If corporate gives her half the money, she'll buy 50. She said if not, then she'd only do 25.
If corporate gifts are half the money,
Yes.
what do you mean half the money?
Um, like if corporate's gonna help her at all, she'll do 50. Like if they
Oh,
pay for
gotcha.
half of them.
Yeah.
But if not, the budget would only
Is
fit
it so
25.
your question is should you share your goals?
Yeah, to try and close it this year versus in
Oh,
January.
oh, 100%. I mean, I do that all the time. So like I had a
Yeah,
customer that I buy like 40K this week and she's like, "Do you want me to place it this year or next?" And I was like, "Well, I was like, I told you I wanted it for next year, but I'm actually a little short of my goals, so maybe we just knock it out this week." And I've already built that rapport with her, but I think I think what I tell a lot of my customers, I say, hey, I wouldn't be doing my job as a salesperson if I didn't ask you uh, for this order because I'm really close to hitting my goal for the end of the year. So if it works out for you and it makes sense and you're going to save some money and you want to do it earlier, we can start that now because it sounds like you're going to do it anyways, even if you do it in February. I'm sorry, in January because of the price increase. So if you wanted to go ahead and just put like 1/6 down, and then if you change your mind, we can always move the numbers if we need to, because nothing gets engraved until January. I would just say that.
okay. And then last question. So she just does a 25 and I do it on a two-part order. Let's say
Hmm.
she buys the other 25 in March. Would that pricing, because it's a two-part order, still be this
No.
year's pricing or it would move up? Okay, cool. Thanks, bro.
Does anybody else have questions for Joseph?
If not, I'm ready to drill this guy.
Let's take advantage, guys. Anybody? JR, you have any questions for Joseph?
Hey Joseph, I have a question for you. What are some of your favorite questions to ask at the booth in order for you to maximize sales? Like what are some of your key lines that you really enjoy asking customers? Like do you find the most results, the biggest results?
Sorry about that. Yeah, no, use every the order tab for when it counts. So if you do it February 2nd, then that's new pricing. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. Joseph, did you hear
Okay.
Pressy's question?
No, I didn't.
Okay, Pressy, go back.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So what are your favorite like one or two or three questions that you ask at the booth to maximize sales when you're working with whether it be a new customer or past customer, like what are some of your key questions that you really enjoy asking that help you with the get the biggest results?
My number one question at the booth during this time of year is who you shopping for, yourself or for gifts?
Okay.
And then they'll say, "Well, I don't know yet." Or if they say, "I don't know," I say, "Cool." Or are you shopping gifts for yourself? You know, I'm like, "Are you shopping for yourself? Are you shopping for others? Are you shopping gifts for yourself?" And they're like, "Well, it's the holidays. I don't know." I'm like, "Well, a lot of people take advantage of sales now and they get themselves a gift if you want to get something extra special for yourself." The reason I asked that question in the very beginning, I use it kind of in my pitch, like, hey, everything's guaranteed forever, whether you're shopping for yourself or shopping for gifts for somebody. We have price ranges everywhere. Uh, I'm just curious who you shopping for. And they're like, oh, I'm shopping for myself. And then now you know that you can probably show them an ultimate, right? it's harder to probably show an ultimate for someone that they're trying to do a white elephant gift for. Because they'll tell you right up front, oh no, I'm actually just looking for a white elephant gift. Oh, cool. What's your budget for that? 50. Oh, got a peeler, or like, right then and there, whether you're going to spend more time with that person or it's just way out of the budget. Or I transition and say, hey, well, I know you're shopping for like a white elephant gift, but have you ever thought about getting Cutco for yourself? Can I show you real quick? Right. And then you just ask the permission questions and kind of move forward. Really just kind of like at the mall. I mean, especially just like navigating on who you're talking to and then making sure that you maximize that time with that person efficiently. Because the last like 7 days of the mall, I mean, it might have been where you only get 2 or 3 orders for like a day. This time of year, you might be getting 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 orders a day. So you need to be really focused on asking the right questions up front. Not over qualifying, but qualifying enough to know where to take the direction of the conversation.
Thank you, my friend.
Sir.
I'm curious, are you always asking a budgeting question, like in the sense of when they say like, oh, I'm shopping for a gift, are you always asking for them to like dictate a budget, or do you just assume?
Well, so they'll tell you up front, because if I don't ask and I'm like, yeah, you should get the homemaker, and then I spend 20 minutes talking about it, and then they're like, well, how much is it? I'm like, it's $1,500. They're like, whoa, I thought these were like my budget's like $150 per gift because I got like 15 people I got to shop for. You know?
Yeah, yeah. That's fine.
So another question I asked during this time is like, hey, have you knocked out all your shopping yet for everybody? And they're like, oh no, I got 2 people left. And I'm like, do you think this would be like a good gift for them? Because it's something that's gonna last forever, whatever you do, your selling points. And then you convert people that were gonna go shop for something else. Cause like your biggest thing is not, it's not hard to sell at the mall. Your biggest thing is you have 500 places to shop, and that's your competition. So what makes this gift more special versus the next store? Like that's literally your biggest competition. Should they go buy a jacket, or should they go buy like $150 knives that last forever? So, and then I sometimes ask people, I'm like, hey, who are you shopping for? Okay, cool. You think they'll like this? And they're like, oh, what are other things on the list? And then they'll say, well, they really like this one thing. And I'm like, yeah, that's nice, but for this year, wouldn't you rather do something that's gonna last, and then maybe for like another time you can do something different? And then they're like, yeah, you make a good point. Let me go and get that. So it's just like little subtleties. I think that you can just maximize every opportunity is kind of the big thing. And obviously, if you get a couple customers now from the mall, I mean, they will reorder over and over and over. But your goal is just to get some Cutco in their hand. So if they're shopping for somebody else, like always make sure that you can get Cutco in their hands.
Anybody else? One last question for Joseph.
I have a question.
Sure.
So I was wondering, like, what are your favorite questions to kind of bring people to the booth, specifically for the malls?
Let's see. I'm trying to think. When I'm at the mall, I'm looking for eye contact, right? And the one thing that I do, and this is I mean, it doesn't matter if you're at the mall or somewhere else, but they'll look at something and they'll kind of look over, and they'll be walking really fast, right? And then you'll say, oh, do you have Cutco? And then they're like, yes. And I'm like, which set do you have? And then what typically happens is they stop, they turn around, they walk up to you, and they point at what set that they have. And then that's gonna engage them for conversation, so you can actually do like a demo, or say like, hey, have you seen the new stuff yet, right? But typically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get someone to stop in their tracks and get over to the booth. The other thing that Cutco customers, if we're looking for Cutco customers in general in the crowd, this is what I ask. I ask that question. And then the second thing is I'm like, oh, do you have Cutco? They're like, yeah, we do. Thanks. And I'm like, oh, when's the last time you had your knife sharpened? And they're like, you know what? And they walk back to you, oh, you know what? I actually do need my knife sharpener. It's been like 10 years. It's been like 20 years. I'm like, cool. Do you want me to show you how that works? Right. And then you get the information, and then that's when you can show them new stuff and so forth. Now, if it's just like a new customer that's never heard of Cutco, and they're like, and this is like a person that's really confident. If you feel like you're a confident person, you can do this. They'll be walking by and they're like, hey, I'm like, hey, you're at Cutco, and they're like, no, and they're just like walking, be like, come here, let me show you, right? And you literally just kind of wave them in, and sometimes people will stop and they'll turn around and they'll literally walk up to you and be like, okay, show me what you got. Some of my best customers I've ever had is people that were walking by, that were just breezing by, and I was like, let me show you, come here. And like, you have to like be really confident when you say it, because some people will turn around and be like, all right, this guy's calling me, I'm gonna come here and check it out, right? And some people are just gonna be like, no, I'm good, thanks. But again, if you do that and like you see somebody money walking by and say, hey, ma'am, can I show you how these work? Come here. Like, you don't want to be like super annoying, but call people in. Don't like go over the table, like don't heckle them, but do it behind the table, like in a non-threatening way, and just bring people in. But you do that and you push the person next to you to do that, what's going to happen is you're going to take twice or 3 times as many turns for the day, which means that you're going to have probably 2 or 3 times as many sales too. And then you can use those same questions. Hey, just curious, like, are you shopping for yourself, or are you shopping for somebody else? Oh, cool. Do they like to fish hunt, barbecue, or cook? Oh, they do. Can I show you some gift options and bundles that we have? What's your price point? What do you normally spend on a person like this? Would you be open to spending a little more? Okay, and then you just kind of go through the progression. Hopefully that helps.
It does. Thank you.
Yep.
Does anybody else have a question for Joseph?
Cool. And then I guess, yeah, right before we wrap up, if you guys want to just kind of put your takeaway in the chat. What was your number one takeaway that you think you're going to use for the malls? And then I think we'll kind of close out, Manny. That's cool.
That's awesome, Joseph.
And what was your number one takeaway that you think you're going to use for the malls? Yeah, delayed gifts are awesome. Oh yeah, I love the emoji attachment. And then I keep that list for next year, so you can always call them and say, hey, are you still shopping for so and so? Very cool. Well, hopefully you guys got some value, and hopefully we'll see the sales kind of raise here for some of these little tips we got here for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time, Joseph. Everybody else want to review